Good morning, everyone. It's April 28, 2025, and it's 9 o'clock, and I'll call the regular Commissioners Court meeting to order. First item on the agenda is roll call by our county clerk, Mary Jane Babial-Manoan. Mary Jane,
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Good morning.
Judge Rathmore,
Present.
Commissioner Moya,
Present.
Commissioner Morales, Commissioner Solis,
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Next item is our invocation by Dr. Roger Miller, Court Chaplain. Dr. Miller, good to see you again.
Good morning again.
Morning.
So again today, we bow our heads together. Let's pray. Our Father, Creator of all, we come together today first thanking you for the opportunity to see the blessings which you provide. Help all of us this day to see the world that you have created through new eyes of anticipation, expectation, and thankfulness. Help us on this day to focus on you as the provider for all of our needs. And so today, Father, we come again asking you and seeking your grace and your strength for the decisions before this court. May we know without question that you are here among us to provide our judge, our commissioners, and our court members with all that they need to accomplish the task before them. May they be assured of your desire to provide for their every need in this time. So expand their understanding of the issues, deepen their compassion for the people they serve, and increase their confidence in their decisions as our leaders ask for their needs today. And Father, prepare them to see this day, the matters before them, as an opportunity to experience your presence. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, Commissioner. Commissioner Morales is present.
Yes.
Item number 4, communications. Commissioners,
Well, we did have our flag football league that just ended this past weekend. Shout out again to David Arroyo, whoever made this possible for our kids. I know it's a big league for Zapata. Our kids really enjoy it. I also want to thank Commissioner Moya. His crew, the fields looked amazing out there. We had to switch it last minute. I know you fixed it maybe about 2 weeks ago. So thank you for that. I know the kids really enjoy the flag football league. So we'll be looking forward to the next season.
Good. So it goes by quick.
It goes by quick. It's a quick 4 or 5 weeks, but the kids enjoy it. The parents enjoy it. It's interesting out there.
Good time to get them outside.
Definitely. I mean, the weather was great. It was fair for our kids as well, so it was good. Also, Judge, and for public knowledge, I want to thank the whole court and their crews for working hard hours for the Los Evanos Trail that we've been putting in a lot of those hours behind the library. We've been out there about 10 days. Even about 10 days we've been out there, long hours, hard hours, so the crews have done an amazing job. So I want to thank each one of you guys, for having you guys out
I'm
there.
glad we were able to step up. Yeah, we had bid out that project initially, but all the bids were incomplete, so we weren't able to award the contract on that. So, but it shows we can do a lot of the stuff ourselves.
The court is working together. The crew's always coming together. So at the end of the day, it's a project for the county, not for a precinct. So
Sure.
we always help each other out. I know we helped out in that other Arroyo project that we came together as well as a court and made it possible. Good morning, Mr. Baker.
Good to see you.
I just want to invite everyone this Saturday, May 3rd, we're going to have the Cinco de Mayo Mexican Fiesta in San Ignacio. Starts at 5 p.m. We're going to have mariachi performing, we're going to have several performances throughout the night, and then we're going to end up the night with a conjunto from the high school. And they're going to be
So nice of that.
45 minutes to an hour. So we'll invite everyone to go out there and support the event.
I would also like to congratulate the Lady Hawks softball team for winning by district champs. We'll be playing area in Kingsville this Friday and Saturday. It's a 3-game series. So if y'all want to go out and support their cause for this and represent Zapata.
That's really impressive. That's a tough district.
It's a tough district, yes.
Against who, Commissioner?
We're playing against Rockport.
Did you guys beat Who's the team that?
Port Isabel.
Port
The
Isabel.
one act also did very well.
One act as well.
One act advancing the state again,
That- yes.
maybe defend the state
That seems like
championship.
every year.
Well, it's
Talented.
quite an accomplishment, so for them to do
Yeah,
it
it's
back-to-back
almost
years.
expected now.
Yeah, well, they're good.
Yeah,
They're under the leadership of Miss Nelly Garcia. So
Yeah,
shout out to her as well.
year after year for many, many years.
And also to the kids that excelled in FFA with Coach Fernie Rodriguez. Amazing young, talented kids and very smart.
Good to hear, a lot of good stories. I see Ralph in the audience. Ralph, I know we've had a bowl of water notice. You want to, during communications, an update on the situation? I know your crews worked all night too.
The crews have been working a couple of leaks, a couple of days before. I know a couple of you are aware of that.
Correct.
A couple went into long, late hours, so I know come Friday, we had the water, we had the wastewater, and we had Muflon out there also. So we were able to install 3 new 12-inch valves and a new 8-inch valve, so that was a good job. I mean, we wanted to knock as much as we could out that night since we were gonna be disrupting the water. And we were able to finish at around 4 in the morning. So open up the water service and get everything back into the system. So it took a little bit of a while, but I know there's a lot of people still complaining there's still air in the line because it was a big 12-inch and a big 8-inch line, so they're like main arteries for the town. So there's still, which is like white looking water.
Yeah,
There's
but
small air
it's air bubbles.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chlorine levels were good this morning. We sent samples, they're actually en route today, so it takes 24 hours. So hopefully by tomorrow morning, we'll get the results back from the laboratory. So we can hopefully get this,
So with the installation of these valves, you'll be able to,
there's be more isolation,
Okay.
in the Medina area, which, you know, we had some old valves that were not really working that well. So, this is gonna help out with future repairs, especially with the leak that is under the Arroyo there on Highway 16. We're not gonna be able to isolate that and, do a reroute and make that, leak fix without disrupting any
Any
service. We're gonna shut off 1 valve in front, 1 valve in the back, and nobody's gonna be disrupted. Not even the business right there, Photos, which is right next to it, they're still gonna have water. So
Yes.
it's gonna,
So it's still normal to see whitish looking water.
yes, sir, it is.
Okay. So what should the people continue to expect throughout the day? White and color water.
It should be
Little
just
snow.
continuing as the days or as hours move forward. It's just mainly in the points,
Okay.
where there's still air that's trapped in the system, has to make its way out. So, I know this morning, you know, my secretary was saying that like when she was taking a shower, you know, she could hear, which is like
Yeah.
air still coming out. So there's still air in the system. Again, it was a 12-inch line and an 8-inch line, so to us, it doesn't seem like, it's not that much. But
That's a lot of
in the
water.
water system, that's a lot.
And also your crews continue to flush out the lines, correct?
Yes, sir.
So there's
They've been flushing since after we finished, all the way through Saturday, Sunday, today, we'll be doing that, so.
So we got several reports over the weekend, so just for public knowledge. So
Yeah, yes, sir. So
it's
if-
normal, you guys are flushing out the lines.
Yes, if you see a fire hydrant that is flowing, it's the crews that are out there opening up different parts of town to try to get some of that air out.
So the boil water notice is continuing for the entire
It's still
service area?
today, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
And as soon as we get, you know, the okay from the laboratory, y'all will be the first ones to know, so y'all can post it on social media.
That's what we did
And
with that
then-
notice that we sent on Saturday morning. So-
And then my guys from the water plant will go and let all the businesses know also, so as soon as we
Very
get,
well. Thank you for the
All right.
great job you guys did over the weekend.
they did a good job, they were out
They
there,
sure did.
warriors. I mean, I
Good
was
thing
out
we
there with
didn't,
them.
we didn't run into any issues, you know,
Major
it was
issues.
planned as, you know,
No, thank God, no. Some of our equipment started fading around 3 in the morning. And we had some mechanics out there to help us out just in case. They had called it a night by about 2:30, and that's when the equipment kind of, but luckily, you know, the hand of God was with us, so, you know, pumps turned on again.
The valve failed.
Everything, yeah, so.
Good.
just-
Yeah, there were need improvements,
You know you need it.
those antiquated valves, we, you know, throughout our community, they're difficult to, you know, when leaks pop up, to address them.
So now that we have these brand new valves, I mean, they were turning like butter. You know, the guys were turning with their hand. Usually you gotta use wrenches, cause you know,
Correct.
after a couple years that they've been under there, but they're brand new, so.
And you
Yeah, I
said,
know the one on-
you had equipment fading. What was that equipment that was fading on you guys?
One of our pumps, one of our water pumps, we had a big old hole, which was the last 12-inch line, towards the east side of town, started filling up with water, so, the pump kinda died on us. We just, kept on cranking and it turned on. It cut on us twice, it turned on again twice. We were able to lower it enough where the guys were able to put those big old 12-inch clamps on and stop the water, so, which is good.
So was it like a temp fix, or were they able to fix it, you know?
It was a temp fix, when you send it to the mechanics again. So,
You have two that are down, right?
two.
Because I know when you were doing the big league over here on the trail, it went out también, right?
Yes.
It went out.
So is that one of the items that's on the agenda?
Yeah.
It's one of the items.
Yeah, it's one of them.
So, one of the pumps we had to do is, because we were running out of time, so come Thursday, I made the call, we went ahead and we took a pump that we have, for, inventory in the sewer, and it fits these pumps, so we got a new pump, and we installed it, and that's what made it run. Of course, the engine and the motor is just, you know, it's really old.
It's shot,
Correct.
very much shot.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind, appreciate it, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
Rob.
guys.
Any other communications?
We got Ms. Gutierrez.
Good
Oh,
morning.
yes, Becky, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Honorable Judge, Rathmore, and Commissioners. I would like to remind the public that application for the summer reading program will be available on Thursday, May 1st. The theme this year is Color Our World. We will only take 25 applications, and parent and guardian must be present to apply. We also have a new schedule, starting May 10th. We're gonna open Saturdays every other Saturday. The Saturdays are gonna vary from 8 to 12. And the schedule Monday to Thursday is 8 to 5:45, Fridays 8 to 4:45, Saturdays from 8 to 11:45. We'll be closed for lunch.
So your staff is all set for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And another, we are gonna be closed tomorrow because we have a training in Laredo all day, but we will resume our regular hours on Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank
The
you.
construction look really well, and well.
Oh, yes, sir, it is, it's going very well, it looks very nice, so they're just putting up the screens and everything, so it's looking very, very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Any other communications? Danny, anything to add this morning? No?
Not
Okay.
really, Judge, which is a good thing.
You got that ambulance fixed, I see?
Yes, we got it fixed, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lieutenant, anything on the sheriff's office?
Not right now. The sheriff is out in Austin, so, we'll get good news after that.
Okay. We'll move on to the public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioner's Court on any items on the agenda. Any members of the public? Yes, Ms. Morales, did you sign up?
No, according to, Ms. Bautista and Roxy, I didn't have to sign
No,
up.
that's fine, but you
So I can
didn't,
go?
yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Which item would you like to discuss?
Item 20 on the agenda.
Item number 20. To review Port Administration positions originally funded by Operational Star. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes?
After all those wonderful news, I'm sorry to bring a little bit of, negative public comments, but I think it needs time that it comes out. So with your, permission, good morning, Honorable County Judge, Commissioners, and constituents. I'm Marta Morales, and speaking today not just as a citizen, but as a proud daughter of the late Honorable County Judge David Morales. I thank you for the opportunity to represent public comment concerning agenda item 20, which references court administration positions originally funded by Operation Lone Star. But to do so, it's imperative to take it back a little bit. So first of all, Judge Morales left our county in a strong financial position, including a catastrophic fund that has grown to $3.9 million. This fund was intended to safeguard and shield our community during real crisis, and we have faced plenty of them. COVID, floods, and freezes. Yet that money was preserved and had remained intact. But now we've learned that under the current leadership, we've lost $1.2 million that were pulled from that fund, not for an emergency, but to cover what state determined was a misappropriation of funds that were provided by the OLS grant. That fund was not built to cover mistakes. It was built to cover emergencies. The citizens expected these funds to be protected and not to be drained to clean up financial mismanagement. As a result, today are facing many nights of sleeplessness as their jobs are on the line due to the lack of responsibility under what we have under our new leadership. I represent the working class of Zapata and understand firsthand how the majority of us value our jobs just to keep our families afloat. And today we pray to commissioners that you think arduously about your decisions and what you represent, considering how we could remedy the situation differently. The trust of Zapata is sacred and not to be taken for granted. Additionally, with all due respect, Honorable Judge Rathmore, You recently publicly passed responsibility, suggesting that others might be to blame, but with the public record emails from the governor's office, we reveal other items. As the sole person responsible for the OLS grant, the truth is, leadership equates accountability, and trying to hold past officials or other county employees responsible would definitely be irrational. That would be rewriting history in order to try to cover failure. Shifting blame won't restore trust. Honest leadership will. Let's take care of our hardworking citizens, our families, and our future. That's why we were all elected. Thank you for the opportunity and have a gorgeous day.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, we'll move on. Thank you for your concern. Ms. Morales, we'll move on to full of invoices, item number 6. In your packet, Commissioners, we have invoices.
April 11th to the 24th.
April 11, 2025 through April the 24th, 2025, for a total of $411,668.79.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion to approve is presented by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7 is approval of checks issued. And in your packets also, we have checks from 4/11/2025 through 4/24.
Judge, on this one, I'm sorry, on the checks, you're gonna have a total of $371,841.04.
Yeah.
But, there was a check, the PO was made, and for some reason the check didn't come out here, I have to look into that. But there should be another $39,827.75 that
So
would
will
equal.
that reflect on the invoices too?
No, the invoices were correct, but for some reason on this one it didn't come out, so
Okay.
there's that difference of
On the checks.
$39,827.75, which would total the $411,668.79.
Okay.
Your motion, Commissioner
Motion to approve is presented.
And I will be looking into that today.
Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve as presented
I'll
with the
second
additional
that.
check of $39,827.75. Seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Judge, and just to add, that was for workers' comp.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Moving on to reports and presentations, item number 8 is a presentation on the board of training. Ms. Alejandra Arellano. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge Rathmel, commissioners, and esteemed members of the court and community. My name is Alejandra Arellano, and I am honored to serve as the Chronic Care Management, Marketing, and Community Outreach Coordinator at Border Clinic. Thank you for welcoming me this morning and for giving us the chance to share an exciting new chapter in our journey of service to the people of Zapata and Laredo. We are proud to announce the grand opening of our new Border Clinic facility in Laredo, Texas, taking place on July the 10th. This expansion will allow us to serve more patients with greater efficiency, care, and compassion. Values that have always been the foundation of Border Clinic. The new clinic will include more exams rooms, reducing wait times and improving patient care. A dedicated classroom for better patient education, allowing us to better support those with long-term health concerns. And expanded services to meet the growing needs of families in South Texas. While we're excited about our growth, we remain deeply rooted in Zapata, a community that continues to be the heart of our mission. Our Zapata clinic, located right over here at 908 East Hidalgo, is currently open Monday through Thursday, with plans to expand Fridays later this year. This location allows us to provide accessible and consistent care to our neighbors right here in the Zapata County. We're also excited to share that in October, we'll be welcoming our newest family nurse practitioner, Ms. Maria Perez Grajeda, to the Zapata Clinic team members. Maria is a dedicated healthcare professional who currently serves the community as a home health nurse in Zapata, Texas. She will soon be graduating and transitioning into her new role as an F&P, and we're incredibly proud to provide the support and the growth that she continues to need to service the community with the best health care possible. We proudly offer a wide range of services at the clinic, including primary care for adults and children, chronic care management, women's health services, immunizations that we will be bringing in around the time that Ms. Grajeda comes and joins Border Clinic, and coordination with specialists and local therapy services. None of this would have been possible without our outstanding board. Local teams, including Laura Benavides and Jessica Salinas, who work hand in hand with the community. Their dedication ensures Border Clinic stays truly connected to the families we serve. We've also been incredibly proud to be led by Dr. Claudia Mercado, our medical director that brings 12 years of experience and distinction of being board certified. Her leadership guarantees that our clinic operates with the highest quality health care. Our clinic operates with the highest standards and clinical excellence and safety. In communities like Zapata and Laredo, having a board certified medical director is not only a mark of quality, but it's a commitment to delivering the best health care possible in the county. At Border Clinic, we believe in healthcare, and we believe in the access of healthcare, that it should be compassionate and led by experience. Professionals who are truly here to serve your community. We're proud to be growing in Zapata and Laredo, and we're here for the long haul. Thank you again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at our grand opening in July the 10th.
Very well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, and thank Dr. Mercado for choosing Zapata to expand to. We, as a small rural county, we do need, extra help with our healthcare for our residents. So your presence here is very valued, and we look for many years of being your patients in the future.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time again. We appreciate
you.
you.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Will you all conduct blood work services as well?
We do. Yes, we do have on-site lab work with a company that
On-site?
we collaborate called LabPort.
Okay.
Yeah, on-site.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that was July the 10th?
July the 10th.
At what time?
At 4 p.m.
4 p.m. And the address?
The address for the grand opening is 1310 Trey Drive.
Okay. We'll look forward to being there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to the action items, Commissioners, we'll deliberate and consider action item number 9 is to approve a participating entity service agreement for the statewide automated victim notification service. Commissioners, we were informed by the state that the vendor that addresses this site has changed, so we'll be submitting it. I think we pay about a little over $7,000 a year to be part of this service. But since the vendor has changed, we will, it's the same agreement, Mr. Fiola, so I guess you'll be reviewing that, but.
I'll take a quick look at it right now, Judge. It only seems to be about a page, so.
Right,
I'll take
yeah.
a quick look
So-
at it and,
Could you make a motion to approve pending legal review?
Motion by, and the payments, we've already made the first quarter, so, we pay quarterly, for that service.
yeah, that's something that we've had over the many, many years.
Yes, but the vendor, I think.
And change, so required to execute new contract.
Right.
Correct.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10 is to select a project for funding consideration for the Burn Justice Assistant Grant, JAG. So, Congressman Cuellar and his staff reached out to my office and I think to the Sheriff's Department about possible funding through an earmark for justice type help, either jail or maybe the Sheriff's Office, things of that nature. I know last year we had applied for a civic grant to help maybe remodel our library. They feel that at this point in time, we'll have a better chance of being funded if we go through the justice route. I did talk to Sheriff Montes. He has indicated that he would like to expand the sheriff's office. We are gonna be refurbishing the sheriff's office with the initial earmark a couple of years ago. And I think that would be a very good project that has a good chance of being funded.
They're already outgrown the facility.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a.
So we can select that as the project for funding
Would this
consideration.
be
submit-
considered like the phase two?
Phase two, yes. So it'd be sheriff's office,
Expansion.
phase two expansion.
I make a motion that, we select, the sheriff's office expansion, phase two project for the Justice Assistance Grant Program.
Okay, and, I think we've got,
Pending the.
we may even have some, I think models of what is gonna be done. We will need, Mr. Figueroa,
Yes, sir.
letters of support, so maybe you could, type one up like Wednesday. In support of this project.
In support of the project.
To be submitted.
That be on behalf of the whole court?
Well, he can, individually, I think will be
Okay,
better.
Police Department, okay.
Do we have, Mr. Gonzalez already with a set out plan?
He's pretty close. I mean, they're not detailed plans, but we have a conceptual idea of what.
is in the program.
Yeah, well, Mr. Gonzalez, you can, I think we've discussed it. We don't have complete set of plans, but we have a conceptual idea of what we wanna do.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, on the project for the expansion for the sheriff's office, what we have is a conceptual of expanding the offices all the way to the north curb that's on the parking lot, and in the width of 84 feet, which is the current width of the station, that width going all the way to the curb, so that parking area would then be utilized for office spaces. And then that would allow, quite a few spaces for offices, interview rooms, and for the investigators. And, the phase one, which is the one that's ongoing right now, it's adding about 6 or 7 office spaces.
Right.
Up to the existing curb without taking any of the parking. This one would take all the parking.
I think, and I guess to adjust for loss of parking, that street that,
We would
technically is not a street. I
we would
think.
recommend closing the street that's where the park is.
Yeah, that's
For
right.
parking for the sheriff's staff.
Yeah.
And moving the railing that's on the park, that's just on the edge, moving it out maybe about, maybe 8 feet, just up to right next to the sidewalk, so that we can have, angled parking there. We would still leave the area that's to the east, next to the building, open for when they bring inmates to get dropped off or
Right.
get picked up, that area would still stay
We have the
open.
side for it.
I see, Andrew, you have anything to add, Andrew?
No, but I more or less kind of know what type of other stuff like juvenile, processing room that we're trying to get as well.
So that would be included in
I
that
believe-
expansion?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Well, good. I think.
Do we
we'll
have
see
a
how-
folio or anything that shows the extent of what it is this grant will be providing? Just so I can take a look at it, that way in the
We
letter of
do
support.
have some.
Okay.
information.
Judge, have amounts been
Review
discussed?
everything.
Amounts, have they been discussed with y'all? Have they been shared with y'all?
We're gonna submit a budget. I don't know what will be approved.
Okay.
Yeah, we provided a budget of about 2.5 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so,
all.
and we'll see how much the required match would be, whether we can afford it or we can include it in some of the CO, depending on, you know, how fast we
Hopefully
get
it's
approved or
10%.
not. get.
Hopefully it's 10% or something.
Yeah.
90-10.
90-10.
Yeah, but I think that'd be a good project to pursue, yeah.
Mr. G, the addition will be about 20 feet towards the north parking lot,
It's a little bit more.
A little bit more?
It's more like, almost like 60 feet.
60 feet.
Because it's a 20 foot for the parking spot, we have like another 30 foot, so it's maybe 53 or something like that.
All right. So got a motion to select that, project as a sheriff's, office expansion by Commissioner Solis, seconded, by Commissioner Garza. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item number 11 is to purchase water pump for the water department, Department 6-foot trailer mounted diesel pump from VP Sales and Manufacturing, from the certificates of obligation. Ralph, good morning.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Just trying, taking a shot in the dark again. So it's a request for a 6-inch water pump.
So we've got a 3 and a 4.
We have a 3 and a 4.
And then an 8-inch standby.
Yes, sir, we have an 8-inch standby.
Right.
Which is used right now, we have for emergency, for
Right.
just in case we need to hook it up to the river.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out there and they've been struggling a lot with this equipment that they have. I mean, we have the money, I don't see a problem with it, the certificate of obligation is for those items to be bought. I'm gonna make a motion to approve, I don't know.
Yeah, depending on the circumstance, right, I mean, this,
Yeah.
we still haven't used the, like we mentioned before, right, we still haven't used it for for our portion of the match. But I think this is, you know, you talked about you had, issues, right, with the current ones that you do have, so I'll second that motion on this.
Motion by, Commissioner.
Did we only get this one quote?
No, sir, we also got one from, Pumps of Houston and from Simon.
This
I
would be a
didn't get
recommendation.
those provided, but they were higher. I think Pumps of Houston was.
Yeah,
a
mine will
much
be
cheaper.
43,500.
It was about
Ms.
$10,000
Mary Jane?
cheaper.
43,500?
43,500, it'll
Thank
be
you.
EP sales and manufacturing.
To
Motion
who?
by Commissioner Moya, second by
Okay,
Commissioner
got it, it's right here.
EP sales and manufacturing.
Here.
I could
Oh,
go back
thank
to
you.
the two, I know the.
No, that's fine, we're just wanting to make
So
sure.
this is gonna be a 6-inch?
Do they have any warranty on them? Did they mention anything about warranty? I don't see anything on there, that's all.
It's not on the paper, but I could find out. They
Okay.
should have some warranty, but. it's
And,
not on there.
and I think, if I'm correct, last time it was just a pump, now it's with trailer and everything, that's why it's a little more maybe.
But no, it was gonna be the same thing.
The same thing.
The same
The only thing is that, the whole tariffs and everything is not only this company, all across the board, everything from our repair items. So when we did purchase, the items for the, where the court approved all the materials for the 12-inch repair, we purchased it at that time. It was perfect because the prices went up tremendously also. So if y'all wouldn't have said yes at that time, we would have been paying more, maybe about 25% more. So everything from PDC to metal.
Of course,
you're going.
everything's going right.
All right.
And Judge, on this, it is 6 inch instead of 6 foot, but it's,
Yeah, it's
It's
6
a
inches.
6-inch diameter pump,
Right,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yes, sir. It's a 6-inch
Yeah,
diameter
so-
pump, and it's on a trailer mounted diesel.
Yeah.
So guys are able to hook it up.
And you guys, you know, working on these big projects, you know, make sure you guys are properly equipped, you know, with the equipment that's working properly, so.
Yes, sir.
Did they give you an estimate, price for the freight? Cause it doesn't have the freight included in here.
No, they didn't, but it is gonna be coming out of Houston is what I was told, so.
Just so we can approve the amount.
We might have to go pick it up.
We could go pick it up, if it's gonna be, my guys, I mean, we picked up equipment in Buda, we've gone to Houston before.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what we
That'd be
get.
perfect.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
motion and second, any other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ralph. Item number 12 is to purchase a Chevrolet Silverado from same Chevrolet from the certificates of obligation. Commissioner Moore, you need a truck?
Yeah, our trucks keep breaking down, even the new ones that we have. We got Dodge, I don't know why we shifted to Dodge, or whatever the reason was. They have 40-some thousand miles and they're already breaking down on us. They have exhaust leaks and stuff like that. Like I said again, the money was budgeted for, I have the budget here. We have 600,000 aside from all the county matches that we're supposed to pay. So that was budgeted for road and bridge, and I know I brought several items and, you know, it's been tabled. We're never able to get the items, but we do need these things to continue operating. I mean, motion to approve.
Yeah, I think the court in the past have been cautious about spending money. We know we have, when we went through certificates of obligation, the priority was our water plant, our elevated storage tanks, the ground storage tanks who are needing repairs. We just, you know, we did apply for some grants, so that they didn't, it fell through. So those monies, and the priority was, for the water plant. I'd like to get those projects, completed before we start spending money on trucks. I mean, we may not have enough money to completely address the priority areas.
If I might add before y'all speak, we're gonna have way more than enough money. We just lost the grant for the EOC, so that frees up another 333,000 with 384.
Well,
So the money's there. If we have to use
Right,
it,
well,
we can use that.
even then, Commissioner, but, you know, they just mentioned, you know, out in the crowd, they mentioned the $1.2 million that we do have to pay back. So we do have leftover money. I mean, do we really need these,
But how are we gonna punish the employees for mistakes that were made?
No, this is not a punishment. This is, you know,
No, that's not right.
There are no mistakes made.
You know, this is not a punishment, you know, I'm just trying to say, you
I
know,
just don't think it's right that we send back the money that's left over for the CO if we still have to pay interest. So you're gonna send the money back and we're still gonna pay for something we don't have anymore? It doesn't
It
make
doesn't
any
mean we're gonna
sense.
send it back, it's that we had a priority of how we were gonna spend it.
No, I agree 100%, and everything
So-
is gonna get paid for what you.
We're not completely sure of that. I mean, I
It
think we
shows
should
here.
wait. I know I think Mr. Gonzalez in the audience, we did apply for some additional funding opportunities for the elevated storage tanks. It may go through, and so if we have those funds we get some help in repairing those tanks, then I think, yeah, we can move forward and spend some of these monies on the trucks. I think I think it was 4 years ago, for Road and Bridge, almost every commissioner received, I think, at least 4 or 5 trucks for his precinct. So they're all new trucks. And this truck would be used for what, Commissioner?
For Road Bridge.
But what, for who?
For crew members.
What, it's a 1500?
It's a 1500.
I-
Mr. Gonzalez, is there anything that you can add to what you see on?
I mean, unless y'all wanna have a specific amount for each one, you know, I don't know, a lower amount or something.
Well, do we have an exact number, you know, how much support he's gonna get, each commissioner is gonna get?
I think,
You think?
Well, and the amount was allocated was 600,000.
right,
For Road and Bridge.
150 each.
Now, the decision there is that we're gonna split it up 4 ways, 150 each, or do we buy a piece of equipment that we all can use, that is an expensive piece of equipment? I think the idea there was we needed a grabber truck, and the grabber trucks are like $300,000. So that would eat the half of the budget. And I think that would be a much, more productive expense to make that is used on a daily basis than buying trucks and a trailer. So I'd rather see the court come together and say, you know what, let's get 2 pieces of equipment that all 4 precincts can use, instead of just getting 150,000, okay, I can spend, go buy stuff, you know? We're gonna need a graphic truck. We've got 3 new ones, and they're not actually new anymore. And we've got one that is, precinct 2 has an aging, graphic truck. The idea for the 600,000 was really to get a graphic truck, and then, you know, whatever was left, we would get, but it's not, I mean, it's up to the court, but we shouldn't divide it 150 and then come back next year and say, hey, you know, precinct 2, my graphic truck went out, we need another $300,000.
Is that something that can do, commissioners to get within, your precinct, the grapper truck?
That was one of the things that.
Like if you get.
That was a priority
I've been
for
looking
it.
at one since we started, cause it's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
oldest
well,
truck.
what I'm saying, like if you get like if it's 150,000, maybe.
Well, then, no, they're like 300,000.
Yeah.
Or you could use about 150 and then just whatever divided amongst you three, then 150.
I'm fine with that.
Get your.
But
get
how,
your-
did you buy the tractor, the graphic truck, Nelly, so far?
I haven't since the first time we,
And they were,
And I'm
they're
pretty
over
sure they went up on
$200,000 each.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
300.
so you're looking at 300,000. I think that's where we should spend the money, for Road and Bridge, on equipment that, we'll be able to get use out of and we need on a daily basis.
And going back to the trailer, I know you mentioned it, I know it's the next item on the agenda, but, I mean, you've seen that we had to drive our equipment, the skid steer, we needed another attachment, that we go drive it from the truck project back to the county shop, pick up that attachment, drive the tractor back over there.
Well, my
That
issue,
kills time.
my
Yeah.
issue is this, I mean, if you have 150, you spend it, right?
Mhm.
But I just need to make sure that we do have 150, you know, I think we need to pay our amounts first on the, you know, I wanna make sure we do have, you know, the set amounts for the grants, to cover the grants. You know, at the end of the day, I don't wanna, you know, start up with the grants and be short because we already spent, you know, more than what we thought. So I just wanna make sure if it's 150, I'm okay with it, but make sure it's 150 a commissioner, or 200 or whatever. But do you have an exact
I did
amount?
receive something from Mr. Tijerina this morning, but I need to ask him, a couple of questions on there. Cause he has where there's a county max, let's say 100,000, but then on the CO it doesn't show anything, so.
Those can be moved around.
Is that what that is?
Yes,
Yeah.
so, on the arena, so that was part of the CO that's not included in there.
Right.
So the grant is $1 million. The project, budget is 1.75 million. So initially, the 750,000, we were gonna either go through the CO, which we can do right now. Instead of buying equipment, we can actually match the grant with it. Or do we borrow more money from USDA, to come up with the 750?
That's what I'm
I
getting at.
would rather, you know, let's utilize the money for those larger projects instead of buying piecemeal equipment.
I mean, that's where I'm getting at, you know, if it's gonna cover, you know, what we have.
And that project, if we don't, utilize the USDA loan portion of that application, that project will move a lot quicker. We'll be able to get an arena within a couple of years instead of waiting 5 or 6 years.
Is that what that means when it says funding source and there's a USDA
Yeah.
or that?
Yes.
So we have a possibility of funding the
Yes.
match
Right.
through them, that's
Right.
what that is.
So, would we be able to get an exact amount, Mr. Gonzalez, for the next court, so we can, if there's gonna be monies, awarded to the court, to the commissioner, so we can already know, the exact amount?
Right.
So, let's say Commissioner Moya wants to purchase something, we
Yes.
have 100,000.
Yes, like I said, I just saw this morning, and I didn't understand what the funding source was, but that's what that is, so, I do know that we have a last payment next year for, road bond, so the court needs to decide, we're gonna free up about $1 million there, so I don't know what the court wants to decide, if you're gonna wanna get more
And
than the other
it's
$5
good. Yeah,
million.
we're gonna pay that debt service off on the road bonds that were issued, 15 years ago. The only problem is, that when we were there at the appraisal board of directors meeting, Commissioner, the outlook, for this year and for the coming years is not rosy. So that extra million that you say we might have may not be, in actuality happen because
Materialize.
our values are dropping. The projections are for, our mineral values this year, which are close to 300 million, to be down in the 160 range, for this coming year. So we're gonna lose for every 100 million, we get approximately $1 million worth of tax revenue. We're gonna probably lose $1.5 million.
Have we heard, back from the solar farms?
They're on hold. There's a lot of legislation in the state legislature that is placing some hurdles on those projects, so everything's on hold. We were hoping that some of these projects would be beginning in 2025. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen unless, depending on what happens at the state level, that some of the bills that have been passed are gonna make those projects difficult to be built. So, yeah, we were betting on 4 or 5 projects bringing in over $1 billion in value to our county, but, they're on hold. So, yes. So I think we gotta be very careful on how, do we have to spend this money? No. Commissioners, do we have to send it back? Well, you send it back in payments. I think we should be able to do the priorities, which is the water plant. I'm hoping that, and I see Mr. Gonzalez in the audience, I'm hoping that we do get some help on those elevated storage tanks, because that's about $2 million worth of improvements that's gonna have to use, almost half of the CO is gonna be used on those very needed improvements. So I would be cautious about just saying, we got 150,000, we don't.
That's what I've been saying, we keep bringing this item back up, so that's what.
What's your recommendation, as an auditor, what do you recommend for the
Well,
court?
without having all the information from me, it's kind of
So
hard
you
to
would
say.
wait.
Yeah, either, y'all have to decide, are you gonna, do it, spend that money on projects, or just say, we're not gonna spend it on the commissioners are not gonna buy anything, Y'all have to make that decision at some point.
Yeah, it's all false hope. I keep on bringing things here because, the money's there. Obviously, we're not important. I guess there's other things that are more important than my guys getting the proper equipment, obviously, like the judge said. So, if that's the decision, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion, is there a second?
The money's there. I want the people to know that the money is there.
Is there a
but
second?
It's up to you guys.
No second, motion died. Item number 13, to purchase a 2024 Delco flatbed trailer to haul equipment from Rush Country Trailers for $16,675. Motion to table, is there a second? Motion to second by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion tabled. Item number 14 is to approve payment of annual dues to the Border Region Behavioral Health Center. Commissioner Garza?
On this one, Judge, I was advised in the board meetings that we hadn't completed our match to
Okay.
Border Region. So I just feel that we have the invoice, I think it was about $20-some thousand.
$20,530.
Correct.
We haven't paid in the past, 3-4 years, the money's not budgeted for it. So for something like this, it would be a budget amendment, there's no
There's no line item.
There's no line item.
Has there been an invoice?
Yes.
Well,
I
now there
believe
is,
she-
but
she
we
said-
haven't
No, but
received
we
anything.
weren't being invoiced.
So that's what I told Ms. Maria.
For some reason, it wasn't, I'm sorry, for some reason, it wasn't budgeted past three
Yeah.
years, and
I mean, we would have brought it
and
before
the budget
board.
went from 5,000 a year to 1,000 to 0, and then
Right.
it was just removed.
So then this amount is for the past 3 years?
No,
We
this
have-
is just for
I
this
have-
year, so I asked her what was the breakdown for it, and she mentioned that it was for services rendered for the people that get services there in Border Region. So this is just for this
Okay,
year.
so some of the costs that are incurred, this is
Correct.
not actually a match for being,
Well, it's considered a match for the services rendered. Like, let's say they send them to the hospital and they don't have
Okay.
insurance or Medicare or anything to insurance that. It would be I think
I
she
think
told me
we
it was
need
a
to
cost of
review
about
this
$700 per patient. Per
I
call.
think with the contract, we may have to review our agreement with them on that.
How
See
much
what
is it?
exactly.
And take copy of the agreement, Judge, I'll review it.
Yeah, to
what
see
the
exactly what
obligation
we're,
is.
liable
Right.
for, so.
I think this is how all the counties do it. I think that's what
Yeah,
Hefferville does. and
I'm just,
everything.
I haven't been aware that we've been
Yeah.
charged in the past for services that they get federal funding.
So
The
what
past
about the
3-4
past
years, I
3
didn't
years?
see in the budget books, I didn't see it.
I asked her how many years are we behind. She was like a couple of years. I said, so why hasn't it
So
never?
we're behind, 60,000 on this?
No, it just depends on, cause
Services,
services,
services.
Yeah, I haven't
change
seen
year
an
by year.
invoice before, so we'll revisit it, Commissioner, and
Okay.
see, certainly we're owed,
I just don't wanna owe them, for another year and then they're gonna say, you know what, there's. software
We'll have to,
services.
yeah, we'll review it and see exactly what the charges are for.
Not
so-
that we don't wanna pay, we just need to know exactly.
Yeah, no,
what it
just so
is.
I have something to let them know on next, board
Next
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah.
I'll second the motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Moya, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion table. Item number 15 is to approve $40,000 for a new generator for Zapata County Sheriff's Office. $25,000 will come from the City of Laredo 911 Regional Administrator, and $15,000 from county funds. I spoke with Sheriff Montes. Hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I do have a new proposal.
Okay.
The only thing that's changed is the proposal date, because the proposal's only good for 15 days.
Okay.
And the other one was
Okay.
expired, so I made copies for
Mr. Trevino, this includes installment also?
it. Everything's on the proposal, I believe.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Morning, Lieutenant.
Good morning.
That installed.
So the grant here covers 25,000 out of the 40?
Yes, sir. The 911, and I talked to, the sheriff and, seeing how our current generator, it is operating, but it is an older unit.
I believe it's 45 kilowatts, and this one's gonna be 50.
Yeah, a little bigger and newer, and, they're paying 75% of it, I think.
And we are, holding vaccines, that belong to the Texas,
Department of Health?
yes.
Okay.
Because we have a backup generator, they
And
don't.
they don't, yeah.
So we keep them here at the sheriff's
Yeah,
office.
but that's a lot of help for the funding, so.
So what are we doing with the old generator?
We, the water plant may have some use for it, so we'll find out, or maybe the jail, the
Okay.
regional jail, but yeah, we're not getting rid of it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, or we can put it in the community center for,
We can,
emergency purposes.
it works, it's just an older unit, I think the sheriff said it was close to 20 years old.
It looks like it. I gotta say, it looks.
It functions, but,
Old, but not obsolete.
but we have a chance to replace with a new,
Yes.
newer and a little bigger and.
We're gonna be paying, $15,000, but the City of Laredo Regional Administration is gonna be paying $25,000.
Yeah, that's the grant.
Does that include to move the generator, the old one out and put it where we need it to be put, or we have to pay additional?
I think on the proposal, I'm not 100%
That
sure.
says to remove existing transfer switch and leave the generator from.
So we will have to come up with, 20 grand, if a 50% deposit is unable to be provided at 2,000 disposal. So, Mr. Gonzalez, we'll have to approve, a $20,000 upfront, cost payment.
Yeah, the terms on the bottom, that was one of the things, 50%.
Yeah, so we need to come up with 50% upfront. And then the county will be reimbursed at 25, that's what I'm assuming?
Yes. It'll be we'll pay 40 and then we'll be reimbursed 25.
Yes.
Or we'll get a check for 25. So we're getting a generator for $15,000 installed is basically what we're.
And we're keeping another one as a standby.
And this will come out of,
Matching.
Well,
It'll be on matching funds. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a match. They don't have the monies there, but,
And it's a grant, yeah, so.
yeah.
motion to approve, as presented.
Motion approved by Commissioner Solis as presented to, purchase a $40,000 generator. And the county's, share will be $15,000. We will have to pay, 50% of the cost up front. Seconded by Commissioner,
Is this coming from her again?
well, it's a matching grant.
From the CO. Yeah.
I was not. That's the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a matching.
Is there a second? I'll second. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, we do have.
Item number 16 is to review the Zapata booster station project. Morning, Mr. Gonzalez.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners. On the, I guess the next three items are gonna be projects that the county is working on. On the Zapata booster station project, they're working on making the connections between the hydro tank and the pumps.
Just a second.
Was there a vote on the
Yeah.
previous one, Judge?
Yeah, I seconded.
Yeah, but is there,
Yeah, we voted.
okay, as long as the votes are there.
So there's two votes, Joey and
Robert,
Yes, so
if it was a match, I'll second.
it was Solis and Russell.
Was there anybody again?
That's
Everybody in
what
favor?
Morales said, it was a match, right?
Yeah.
Anybody against it? No?
Well, we did. No, we voted. Yeah, I heard ayes. I didn't
Yeah,
hear-
well,
I didn't hear any nays.
He mentioned it, and I was like, I don't know, I didn't hear the vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there was some chatter going on. Okay.
Okay, so we have, the contractor working on the piping for the booster station. They're connecting the hydro tank to the pumps, getting the air lines installed. They're also working on the chemical feed lines, getting those, worked up as well. We don't have an invoice at this commissioners meeting. We had one at the last one, but we are approximately 89.7%, 90% complete. There is a remaining balance in the contract of $117,439.64.
Okay.
That's how much we have left to invoice. Hopefully we can get it done, within this month and early next month, so that we can start closing out that project. So we have, that's ongoing. So it's just a report item there.
Okay. All right, no action on item number 16. Item number 17 is to review the Zapata drainage project.
On this project, Judge and Commissioners, it's the CFC 210191 project. It's the drainage portion of that contract. I'd like to commend the court and their staff for having the county staff clear out the channel. It was heavily overgrown, trees and brush debris, a lot of trash in there. I think it's maybe from the different rains, comes and goes through there. So the county did move quickly on that, cleaned it up like within 2 weeks. So that was pretty impressive. We had deducted $45,000 from the contract.
Right.
So the county could do that part. The county has done that part, and they've commenced installing concrete. They've installed roughly about 250 feet, and they have maybe about another 250 that have been laid out for concrete. They've already have the rebar installed for that next section. That first section is already done, and they've also cleared out some of the debris under the culvert on Highway 16, which leads me to same thing is that this weekend the court and the water department and the sewer department did a really good job in advising the community that we had some major repairs for the water lines. It's our main system on that 12-inch line, and they had 2 valves installed on 16 and Alamo, an 8-inch and a 12-inch. They had a valve installed on 4th and 16 and 12-inch, and then they had another one on 6 and 16. So those, it was done, relatively within the time frame that was provided, and then they did a good job.
I think, the timing was very good. Most people are sleeping. I'm glad our guys were working, but I think that really helped out the community.
And there was pressure. There was pressure in the system even after 10. Like we told the community there wasn't going to be any pressure because we were going to start shutting down. But at midnight there was still pressure in the lines. So throughout
It was well planned. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you for
so
the coordination.
They did a good job on that. So I just wanted to let the water department and sewer department assist in it, and they had the contractors help out as well. And it was a collaborative effort. They did a good job on that. So on that drainage project, we do have we have an invoice from the contractor for, $48,326.50, and that's for the cleaning and maintenance of the existing culverts. That's only at around 50%, because there is a leak on that culvert. So they kept cleaning the water out, but it kept filling with water, and we determined that leak needed to be repaired. So the water department will, now with the valves installed, will be able to shut down that section, replace that line.
So the culvert on 16th, the textile culvert, or the one on our road?
No, the textile culvert. The one.
It requires cleaning?
It had about, it had about 3 foot dirt.
Well, the water, yeah, the water,
No,
they're
dirt.
funding, yeah.
No, yeah.
Dirt.
Yeah, it
Okay.
had dirt built up. When we excavated down, the concrete of the culvert is about 3 feet lower than the dirt
I got
on the
you.
channels
Okay.
on both the north end and the south end.
Yeah.
So there's a request to see if we could just fill it
I
with
wonder
concrete.
we should have gone textile to clean their stuff out,
Well, I mean,
and not have the county have to pay for it. I mean, it is textile right away.
yeah, I mean, maybe that's something that we could have, requested. We had included it in the contract because we felt
I
that
mean, in hindsight,
it needed to be done.
Yeah, in
And so,
hindsight, we could.
I mean, yeah, I guess there's others that they could maybe go.
Yeah, cause
the one at
it's
20.
their right away and it's their property, so.
We probably need to get a hold of them to go clean the one on 20th as well. I'm pretty sure it's.
That one
the same.
probably has like 3 feet of dirt on it also. So maybe they can go and maintain those culverts.
Well, okay, whatever, the contractor did it, so.
Well, they did part of it.
Okay.
Now that we shut down the water, we'll be able to then finish out the rest of it. So we only have 50% on that item, and then we have, out of the 14,800 square feet of concrete that needs to be laid out, we have roughly about 4,000 that's included in this invoice. So
Okay.
we have an invoice for $48,326.50 for the contractor, Muflon Oil Field Services, and it'll go through Axstar bonding company.
Okay.
And then and then that's all I have for that.
What is, the invoice number, Mr. Gonzalez? Invoice number?
Invoice number 1.
Oh, this is the first one.
Yes.
Make
Motion to approve, invoice number 1. It'll be made out to Axstar Bonding Company, $48,326.50. About 50% completed.
Motion, by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. I was gonna ask you, so reimbursements on these, are we working with GrantWorks on reimbursing?
Yes.
Have they been coming in? Okay,
I don't know when it's gonna come in, but yes, we'll pay it and send it in.
okay, all right.
Reimbursed. I'll have to get, what's that work?
Yeah, we're getting towards the end on.
I know, I just don't wanna wait for the
No,
the final
we should
reimbursement.
we should submit as it's coming.
Yes.
I think, we submitted some in January when our audits were cleared.
Mhm.
And this contract and the booster station, they're under the same contract. So we have roughly about $1 million there, and we've been reimbursed, I think about maybe like 600 or 700. So we still have.
Yeah.
About 400.
Yeah, we have about 197 on this one and about 117 on the other one, so about 300
Yeah, I think,
left.
I mean, the San Ignacio station, those improvements, we've been reimbursed quite a bit.
Yes, that one's about 90% reimbursed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got a motion second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Item number 18 is to review Los Ebanos walking trail project, and Commissioner, the one you were mentioning that as this morning.
Yeah, the walking trail, Commissioner, same thing, we had bid it out, we didn't award it, there was a lot of, errors and omissions
Yeah.
in the bidding, of the documents. So we didn't select the contractor, kind of, then took it over and said, we'll go ahead and, do it with our staff, and they, in 2 weeks, they cleared the whole path. They've already, leveled it out and started putting down, the crushed, limestone that was at the cemetery,
Correct,
plots.
that's a good use
And
for it, yeah.
we're using that. The cost of that material, we did reach out to a materials company in Laredo. It costs $106 per cubic yard for that for that material, so we'll get a cost, equivalent, so that we can request reimbursements for that.
And I guess here, because I asked, road guys, road and bridge guys, if they were keeping count on the number of trucks, loads. We weren't, but I guess your engineering company can figure the
We can
length of,
calculate it.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll calculate based on the linear footage and how many inches and how width it is.
How many yards?
Yeah, and we'll figure out, how many yards, cubic yards we ended up using.
That's good.
For that material, and, the delivery to Zapata, it was $275 per trip from the Laredo yard. So that's what that material, so it's expensive material, it's nice material that we're using there. We did,
So we'll be adding that delivery charge to the actual $100, right? Cause that's what it costs.
Yes.
So it's more like 300,
it's
yard?
more like 381.
Yeah.
So
It's
381.
very expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not 381 per yard, because it's 106 per cubic yard, and then each truck has about 20 yards.
That's correct.
So, but the delivery trip, that's 275 would be added on top of those, 20 yards.
And did they allow that to be reimbursed, or?
That's what
We're
we're looking
submit
into it,
to
yeah,
it.
we're looking into it to see what can be reimbursable, because our goal is to try to get to 200 and request reimbursement for that. So we're looking at what equipment was used out there. We used a dozer, we used a motor grader, we used 2 backhoes, we used a dump truck, we used the shredder, and then, I'm not sure if we used the water truck, but we did install 2 culvert crossings at the low section. And so those pieces of equipment will be included also to see if we can get reimbursement for that, as well as the hourly rates for our staff for these last 2 weeks, including overtime that they've been working. I know they stayed till 8 o'clock on several
Right.
days.
No, that's.
And they worked on the weekend, and so then that will be, submitted for reimbursement. We're trying to get, like I said, to 200. It's harder for us as a county to get to 200 if contractor bids it at 200. We don't have the same bonding and overhead that they do.
Right.
And so we should be able to do it for less, but at least if we can request, reimbursement for lighting and the fencing, the materials themselves,
And the
this-
culverts, right?
The culverts, yeah, and then the crushed limestone, we can try to get, we can get reimbursed for everything that we spent.
What about the parking lot? What do we think on the parking lot?
The parking lot, I'd like to do a concrete parking for about 8 spots, so that, we have it similar to what we have in Bravo Park. We have Bravo Park on the north end, there's 8 spots, and then on the, south end, next to the golf course, there's about another 8 spots. So something similar to that, with, a little squared off, 2-inch pipe, enclosing that.
That's a really nice area.
Do we have a percentage on how far it's completed? I know Commissioner West spent a lot of hours there and
I would say we're probably, like, maybe closer to 75, 80. Yeah. We're lacking the lights, the fence, and some additional, material to be out there and laid out. But we have the culverts in, and if we can get the lights, like get a PO and submit the payment for it, and same thing with the fencing, then we can get it installed.
So what about the parking lot? You said you think about concrete. We have till the 30th.
Yeah, we have to Wednesday.
So we will do it within the next couple of days.
We would have to do it today or tomorrow, or Wednesday.
So if we don't complete everything, we don't get reimbursed?
My understanding is that you get reimbursed for what you complete up to the
Up to the
30th.
30th.
Yeah, so,
So
and
we
end of the year,
got
the
to the
30th, so whatever work gets done up to that point, that's what you get reimbursed. If you continue working on it, there just won't be, you won't get, reimbursed for those,
Something
funds.
we need to look into.
But so for the most part, you're about, I would say about, 75, 80% complete. So whatever we can complete this week, then that's, I think we'll be maybe just lacking to install the lights and the fence. But if we can purchase them and the parking lot.
I think the quickest thing to do is for us to purchase the lights and install those lights, since they're gonna be solar. Because the fencing is gonna take a lot of money and a lot of time, and we're not gonna finish by Wednesday. Again, we only have 15 days to complete this
But we
project.
can invoice the materials that we purchased.
Yeah,
We'll have-
if we purchase the fence material,
Yeah.
we can invoice the material.
Yes.
And then we'll just then get it
All
installed.
right, so you're working on, you got that taken care of?
I'm working with,
Okay.
with staff and with
Okay,
our.
yeah, make sure we get those invoices.
Yeah.
by later.
So
They're
we'll
being
have,
submitted
we have
to-
till the end of this
Where they
month.
being submitted to?
Well, it takes folks a while. So our grant administrator is kind of putting about it.
So we have from May first through June first to submit that reimbursement.
Yeah.
We'd like to submit it within the first week.
So is that where he confused that he thought the deadline was June first?
He thought it was June first, yes, and it's not.
Confusion.
June first is, all your bills need to be in
Yeah,
June.
so, yeah. I agree
But
with-
not.
Okay, well, it happened, but, you know, in the end, I think it worked out for us. We did it ourselves, we saved some money, and we'll be reimbursed. We'll actually, not have to pay out, because the bids that came in were close to $200,000, which the state was gonna cover 100,000 of it, but we were gonna be on the hook for the other 100. And by doing it ourselves, we actually saved some money. The project got completed.
230 something.
Yeah, so I think, in hindsight, it worked out well.
It worked out. I do have an invoice on our part for this project for $2,500, and it's invoice 27954.
Motion to approve, invoice number 27954 to Premier Engineering in the amount of $2,500.
And that's reimbursable too.
Yes.
That's the motion by Commissioner Solis, and then seconded by Commissioner Morales. Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
I'm sorry, with the parking lot, what is the game plan for the concrete? If we only have till the 30th, do we have to go out for bids? What is the?
I don't know if we have any staff that can do that kind of work. If we have staff that can do that kind
Oh,
of
it's
work.
a small parking lot, don't you think it'll be under the threshold?
I don't know if we could, I mean, the expensive part will be the material and the concrete. I don't know if we could get an invoice for that.
We can, for the concrete itself, maybe we can request,
And then we'll do it ourselves, but request the invoice before the 30th. If it's possible, I don't know if that would.
I can ask, and then that way we have it already allocated, but we can check to see if that's.
If that's an allowable expense.
And then just
Because I
make
won't
labor.
complete it in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been graded, it just needs to be formed up and rebar, you know, we should put, rebar on it
I
and
mean,
then.
if our crews can get after it, I mean.
I don't know if we have anyone that does concrete. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So,
Can we get quotes either today or tomorrow, so we can get something before
The
the
material,
end of the month?
yeah.
At least for the material.
Well, if it's under 50, that's what I'm saying, if it's under 50,000.
Oh, yeah, it'll be under 50, but I guess we could get a quote from the, concrete company saying, okay, you need so many
I
yards.
need so many yards, you know, can you invoice it?
Invoice it before
We
the-
pay for that concrete that we're gonna use.
So then we will just be responsible for the labor?
Yeah.
And then we can get an outside contract.
Yeah, cause you can't, I mean, if we're gonna leave it as is, you know, we do get a lot of rain towards that area, towards that back area, so I think it'll get kind of messy, we just leave it as is.
That'd be something to work on.
Have we included the watertight seal, drainage, top upper?
They're ordering that, yes, they're gonna replace that, so that gets, replaced. So, they're.
Yeah, cause I know that's a major issue behind the public library.
It's, yes, and that they're aware of it, they're getting that, brought in, so that we can replace it. That needs, that we saw that when we were out there, it needed to be replaced.
Way to go.
Any questions, commissioners? So, motion to approve the $2,500 invoice for Premier Engineering. Motion and second, Commissioner Morales, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Consent items, commissioners, there's 21 and 22 line item transfers.
Motion to approve consent items 21 and 22, line item transfer.
Motion by Commissioner Solis.
A question on the fuels and lubricants, we can move our money from there to anywhere else, I think, on fuels.
It was discussed
I
with.
asked and they told me no. I just wanna clarify it.
Well, on that one, we discussed that, but yeah, we'll remove that one, the 3,000, yeah.
The 3,000 that.
That's why I
That was the
asked for
fuel and lubricants.
Okay, and, we'll go ahead and remove the 015-424-42-620 line item, fuel lubricants.
Okay.
Amount of 3,000.
All right, motion by Commissioner Solis
I'll second
to
it.
approve line item, with those exceptions, seconded by Commissioner Morales. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. We've got, 2 executive session items. Item number 19 is, to discuss personnel matters from the water plant, Mr. Alcerino. And item number 20 is to review court administration positions originally funded by Operation Lone Star. And these, items will be heard under section government code, 551.074 personnel matters and 551.071 consultation with attorney. I need a motion to enter.
Motion to enter executive session.
Motion by Commissioner Solis to enter executive session,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Gasa. We are now in executive session.